Why, hello there. It's Amy with Just a Little Ink. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Celebrating now my 24th year. And I've got a fun card. It's really a fairly quick card I want to share. I'm going to wait just a second or so, see if people will join me live here on Facebook. For those that are joining me later on YouTube, I'm thankful that you are on, and I hope that you choose to subscribe, like and share. I love to hear your comments and see what you think. For those, let me move my camera over here a little bit. For those of you who've commented about my blurry videos that have had a little bit with my hands when I'm sharing, especially up close, I'm pretty sure with a little bit tech support from my husband, we figured out what was going on, and it was setting within my actually my computer, and so I think we've got that fixed. That's the hope anyway. Thanks for those who've still watched. I know it was a little bit struggling to see really the detail. I'm not coloring today, but I'm hopeful that you will keep watching. So let's see, this camera keeps on wanting to adjust everything it's doing, so it's kind of crazy. We're going to go ahead and get flipped over and just get moving to what I want to share. So I've got a fun card, and you know what, I didn't even keep track of what this is called. I'll look for that because I don't want to get up and share it right now. What you're going to want is you want some cardstock. I am using the Harvest, is it Harvest Glow? Glow of Harvest paper. This is product of the month in the month of August. Right now, when I checked earlier, was still available with in the United States, a $75 or more order. And it is beautiful paper. I don't know if you can kind of pick up on that. It's got a pearlized finish to it. And there are a number of different prints. I will pull out just a couple of them here because they are just really pretty. Kind of see if I can get a couple pages here that are not going to give issues. So there are a few different prints. I'd have to check. I'm guessing 6 different prints, 2 of each, but they are beautiful colors. My goodness, my brain is totally not catching and tracking along with me today. Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Golden Glow, and Pecan Pie. This one we already seen. And a couple other, there are some more that are a little less colorful. This is one of. And then there's one that's leaves and one that's pumpkin. So some beautiful paper. Let me get this put away. And it is one-sided, so I should point that out as well. So it does not have, it's not a two-sided paper. And then I'm going to be using some Golden Glow cardstock. You'll need a half a sheet cut in the horizontal fashion, 8.5 by 5.5. You're also going to want another piece of the same, whatever base you're using, 4 by 5.25. You'll also want your piece for your inside. I'm using basic white, same size. And then just some scrap pieces. I keep the edges of paper when I'm cutting down to like for my insides. And I'm going to use a piece of that to do my greeting. And then I just want a couple pieces for some leaves. To share with you the stamps I'm going to be using, I'm choosing to use, well, I'm going to share with you a couple things. We're going to use the Banner Sayings bundle, which is the Banner Sayings as well as the coordinating punch. Those items are in, you can find them all online, but they're in our May to August catalog, which this wraps up the end of this month. Let me get over to where we've got our bundles because it is in here. and I just want to share it with you. So it is shown on page 41, but there is a brand new stamp that's coming out. I can't show you in the inside, but there is a brand new stamp that coordinates with that punch that's in our September to December catalog. This starts on September the 1st. If you've ordered, I sent catalogs to my customers who've ordered with me in the last year, and they, if you haven't gotten yours, let me know. I do have a few if you're more local, and I can arrange to figure out how to get a catalog to you. But it's called Soiree Salutations, which are all more holiday and seasonal greetings, and they make some great, but again, those nice straight lines that fit into that punch, which is just really great. The other thing I'm using on the project I'm going to share is, you know how much I love the sweet words and labels, and I often am using the label dies. Now I'm not using the stamps on this one, but I'm not going to use the labels, but there are these adorable detailed leaves, and then I'm not going to use them on the project I'm doing today, but also some acorns that you can assemble. So give me a moment because I got to get my dog out. I have one dog who thinks he always needs to be in here with me, and one who does not. So the other thing I'm going to use are these adhesive backed metallic gems that are, and I've used quite a number of them, they are in copper, gold, and silver, and they just coordinate really well with the project that we've got going on, and some early espresso ink. So let's get going on what I'm going to share. So you need your paper trimmer, and I'm going to just move my papers out of the way for the moment because we don't need those. And I'm going to turn my trimmer over, and let's see if we can get enough of it in the camera that you can see what I'm up to. So decide what orientation you want your paper to be going. That's important. And then I'm going to be cutting it in 1/2 inch strips. And so again, this is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of cardstock. Oh, excuse me, of designer series paper, it's not cardstock. And so I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to keep track. You'll kind of watch me doing this here. Let's see if I can keep it enough so you can see them lined up. I'm going to stack them such that to keep them in order, because that's important with this design. And again, I'm so sorry that I didn't write down the technique. But it is a wonderful multi-dimensional look, but it keeps everything together. So again, just going to keep cutting my 1/2 inch strips here. And again, keeping track of the order of them. This is a card that my stamp club had done a couple months ago. And then I believe I had my team. We do a mystery stamping, and we kind of, well, we did do this. It was a lot of fun. So still get together, even though we're all in different parts of the country, and get a little catch up and little business. In 24 years, definitely a lot of things have changed with Stampin' Up!, and yet the truth is there's a lot of things that have not. And I am thankful for the enjoyment of creativity. I love the products. I do think they continue to get better all the time. So, okay, I'm going to move my trimmer out of the way because I should be done with it. So I've got my paper lined up the way I want it. And so I'm going to take my piece of paper. My goodness, my brain is somewhere else today. I am so sorry. You've never had that problem, I am sure. Golden glow. For whatever reason, I could not get golden glow in my brain. So I've got my 4 by 5¼ piece. And what I'm going to do between using some liquid glue and some Stampin' Dimensionals, we're going to lay it out. Some of them are going to get raised and some of these strips are going to stay flat. And so I'm going to start with the left edge. So I'm going to keep it lined up. I want to make sure not to twist it around. I'm going to put some adhesive onto my Designer Series paper strip. And this line, I'll have one project with a different package of paper. It's the one we had done in my club. But it works really super well with papers that are a scene. But it works like with this one that's not so much a scene but just an overall pattern. And you just want to line it up. You could have your paper be a little bit shorter if you wanted. So then I'm going to take the next one. I'm just lining it up here, and all I'm using it for here is a placeholder. I want to keep it lined up to keep my spacing. But the other reason with a print, especially one detailed like this, is that I want to know what's lining up and not have it out of order when I'm doing. So then that one just lays there. But then I'm going to get more multi-purpose liquid glue. And I do put on the Facebook, there's a, or not Facebook, I could do that, I haven't. I do keep on my YouTube channel in the bottom, there's a link at the base in the description that shares with you all the products I used, and that will be included there. And then on my blog, justalittle.ink.com, I do go in and update and show some photos, and again, there's ordering photos there. So then I'm just going to move my, I'll put it over here. I'm going to move my placeholders to the other side. Then I'm going to take this next one. It's a placeholder. These go really fast. These are going to end up being thank you notes for me for those who've placed orders through today. Today is the 21st of August. Stampin' Up! Has done a promo that kind of was a quick promo they're doing, that if you order online or through your demonstrator, it's double reward points. And so if you're signed up to use Stampin' Up's rewards, and I hope you are, because they do add up. You get to use them on product. Let me slide. I slid it over and then, oh boy. Okay, there we go. So then I'll move this piece over. And then the other thing to keep in mind right now, especially with me showcasing paper, is we got a paper sale going on. And that ends on the 31st of this month. So again, piece there for the placeholder. Then I'm going to take this last piece here to glue down. And so it's a great time to stock up on cardstock. Both our two-toned cardstock and our just regular cardstock. So see, this is where having that piece laying there helps me, because I'll know whether or not I turned it around. And it would have been lined up incorrectly, which I am not beyond doing. So get here, make sure I'm lined up, pull that piece out, and then I've got this last piece, but I'll move over here. So I've got all these lined down. Then I need to grab my Stampin' Dimensionals. And you could use our foam strips, and I know there are some who will use these edges of the Stampin' Dimensionals and just use the whole line. What I find works real well, and I'm going to start, let's start on, if I can get it without picking up glue everywhere. Let's start with the one that will go here. So I'm going to turn it over, and all I'm going to use are 4 Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to put one at the base, and these are the full-sized ones. I'm going to put one at the top, and then I'm going to space a couple more out in the midsection of it, like so. And then take those backers off. How many places do you find Stampin' Dimensionals? Let me see if I'm twisted around here. Yep, then I was. So then it's a matter of lining up. Let me get in here, just my face in here just briefly. I want to line up to keep myself straight. Okay, and then I'm going to keep going. And that finishes here this portion of my card. So this part takes a little time, not too bad. And again, if you want more dimensional than just the 4, I find 4 is enough. You could add strips, or you could use the edges of your dimensionals. And so, let's see, is that right here? Nope. See why it's important to have that paper figured out. Okay, so got this one, then we've got 2 more. So I'll move as fast as I can. And grab down the middle. I hope you are having a great week and have some fun things planned for your weekend. Have a fairly quiet weekend planned ahead, which is fine with me. I get that? Yep. Here, and the last one's going to go on this edge. And so, just like that, it goes together really pretty fast. I know a lot of people aren't able to join me on the lives on Fridays, but for right now anyway, Fridays are what's working the best for me. And so I'm glad that I've got people who are catching me after the fact, and I appreciate your comments and your feedback. So you can kind of see more if I lift it that you've got this dimensional look to it, and yet you can see the entire paper. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I need to score my cardstock in half. So I'm going to put a score at 4 1/4. And I don't want to use my cutting blade. Have you ever done that? I use my score blade. And we'll get that out of the way because we shouldn't need it again. Fold it over. Get a nice score. And it's always a great idea to use your bone folder. If you've got long nails like I do, it ends up leaving nail marks if you don't use something like a bone folder. So put that over. And then you can use glue. You could use our Stampin' Seal. I find I like our multi-purpose liquid glue because I have a little wiggle room in putting it down. And so I'll line up so that I have an even edge. And again, like I said, you have a little bit of wiggle if you use liquid glue, and so you can adjust. I think fairly good, and if not, again, you have just a tiny bit of time to make adjustments. Okay, like so. Gonna press it down. So there's my base, and that's pretty, but it's, you know. Now, did you know, I don't know if you said anything too much about this. I'm not sure what I want to say on the inside of my card, so I'm just going to take some of my Stamp and Seal. I'm just putting a quick line in the middle, and I'm going to line it up in the inside of my base of my card. And the nice thing is, and I'll show you this, I have it sitting here. But if I decide, you know what, I don't know if I want this color in here or I want to stamp it out, it's real easy to just take a twist and it comes off. And so that's a great way if you want to add what you're going to put on the inside, but you aren't sure what to say yet, you aren't sure what you're stamping on it, it's a great way to keep it on the inside. So I'm just going to close this part. Well, then I told you I want to figure out what I'm doing with my my greeting, and so we're going to use just banner sayings because I know you can still order this. The other September 1st, so but you might as well get the discount, the 10% discount on the bundle by ordering it right now. So I'm going to use the Thanks a Million. It's a beautiful little cursive stamp that says Thanks a Million, which I think fits real well with this particular punch. And so then I'm going to open up my early espresso. You could use whatever color coordinates. I kind of liked the darker. And I'm going to come right in the middle of this strip so that I have enough room to line up my punch. Clean that off. Okay, and then close my stamp so I don't stick something else on it. I'm going to unlock my punch. I tend to use my punches from the back side. So I'm going to take this strip of paper, which I find is the easiest way, and if you hold just lightly, you can get a little bit of grip, and that helps me know if I'm going to be lined up the way I want. Is it got the distance between? Okay, so I've got, I think, punch. I'll use my scrap for another time. And then what I want to do is I want to put just a little bit of adhesive on the 3 sections because I don't need a lot. And I'm going to put just over here a little. Okay. And then I'll line up where I want it. I think I want to come a little bit lower. So I'm going to come in here. I'll lift it up to make sure I'm straight. Like so. And then I told you that I've got these leaves. I already cut them out from the Sweet Words and Labels. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to grab my dimensionals. Oh, they're sitting right here in front of me. So what I found worked really well is I want to have, I'm going to put one up here. Since I came a little higher, I'm going to put this one here. And you know what? This is enough to hold it. If you want a little bit of adhesive on the ends, you can, but you don't have to. And so I want to lay here, and that one dimensional is enough to keep it from moving anywhere because it's in the divot, sort of in the valley. And then I think I want to stick one over here. So I'm going to come a little lower, and grab that dimensional again. And then I'm going to have this leaf falling this way. And then it needs just a little more bling. Let me get it back in the light of everything. I'm going to use these 3 gold gems. I could use other ones, but I'm going to use these. I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to take one of these smaller ones and come up not too much further. And then I want to take the 3rd one. I tend to use them in 3s, and I'm going to come up. Let's see, maybe up here. What do you think? Not so bad, huh? I kind of like this. It's a simple card, but it's really got a lot of interest, and it's a great way to use this product of the month. So let me share with you other cards that I've done that use the same design. And the next 2 are going to use the same paper. So I used from the Soiree Salutations, Grateful for You, which would be great for making sure I'm not doing anything weird with my cameras. It would be great for a Thanksgiving card, or in just the month of November. A lot of people do just appreciation. And you'll note that I took, same paper, I took just a little bit bigger piece of early espresso just to kind of set it off a little bit. You'll have to let me know kind of what you think. I keep getting it out of the line of my camera here. Let me know what you think on the 2 and how that works. And then this is a different print. And again, from that Soiree Salutations, I'm using the Happy Thanksgiving and Cajun Craze in the ink. And again, the same leaves. This one's a little smaller because there's one that's smaller than the other 2. Kind of a neat look. And then this card is using the Sweet Bugs, and it's the Sweet Bugs stamp set. And then the paper, and then the gems. Isn't that cute how you've got that little ladybug climbing up on the leaf? This was one we had done in my stamp club a couple months ago, and then we used the dies that coordinate with the paper and put the little ants coming on the inside. Just a fun card. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I am thrilled that you've joined me, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Again, thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing, and I love to hear your comments. And until next time, happy stamping.